And, you know, I could sit here and laugh and joke around a little bit because we really do have to have trust in God and laugh when we can. We can't let this get us too down. It's just that evil is being released all over. Here's a few articles that we're going to get. Any other points Steve Quayle wants to make, and then take phone calls for Steve, who's patiently been with us here today. Here it is out of French news agency, AFP. Italian court overturns pedophile conviction as 11-year-old in love. So in Italy now, a 60-year-old man wants to trick your son, your 11-year-old. Let me tell you, I got an 11-year-old son, and he's a 6-year-old man. Takes him off and does something, you're not going to need to go to court, buddy. I'll just tell you right now. I mean, this is their plan. And I told you, the UN has announced NAMBLA is good. That's what it all is, the sexualization of kids in school. And Jocelyn Elders, help the 5-year-old masturbate. That creepy old witch. I mean, these people are control freaks. They want power over you and your kids. Told you they would legalize it. There it is. They have big medical associations coming out and saying it's wonderful. What's wonderful is what I'm going to do to your teeth and your nose and then your head. And I'm sorry, you touch my kids, I am going to, if you don't get convicted and go to jail, I am going to break your jaw right before I slam your head in the concrete till your brains are all over the ground. And I don't usually talk like that, folks, but that's a normal statement there, okay? Now, let's continue here. NBC's chief medical editor forced her kids to sign up for Obamacare as their patriotic duty. I mean, this is the type of garbage that's going on. Here's another one. People who are religious or spiritual have thicker brains, which could protect them against depression. The cortex is thicker or has more cells and more connection in people that are religious. That's right. And religious experience is associated with the highest brain waves of rapture, of literature, of art. Ludwig von Beethoven would literally, he believed, could feel the universe and God's spirit flowing through him. Einstein said God does not play dice with creation. You cannot be a genius and not know that there's a spiritual realm and something else going on you resonate with. The problem is there are people that are geniuses who serve the Dark Lord. And that's what you've got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that archetype of the all-seeing fiery eye, wreathed in flame. You know of what I speak. And we're here with Steve Quayle, but I was just mentioning that earlier, and Chris Jordan said, what, you didn't see that in your juice stack? They call that a stack of news they dig up and things I may not have seen. And no, I didn't, so I'm glad he brought that to my attention. Here's one more. Woman suing over amputation following arrest. I mean, now you go to the police and get roughed up so bad they cut your arm off. And this, I mean, it's getting creepy. It is getting so creepy. And by the way, record low number of police being killed since they started recording it in 1881. That's in the Associated Press today. And they admit in the internal studies that we've gotten from the Justice Department, because they're available, you just got to dig through them, that they admit it's gun ownership. The police all know. That's why most police groups are pro-gun, even though their bosses aren't, and they're demoting them if they stand up for America. I get that most police are actually good people. I'm not kissing your butt. They're trying to corrupt you. They're trying to turn you into paramilitary thugs. They're trying to sick you on the Tea Party and the Liberty Movement. But now you're starting to wake up, and the military is really awake. And I want to get Steve Quayle's take on that in a moment and then go to your phone calls. But briefly, we're listener-supported, and we try to offer the very best information warfare tools to wake people up. You can get, into the new year, 5.3 months free. That's the discount off the year membership. For $39.95, you can get 5 months free off the regular price. So you pay for 6+ months, and it's a 5.3 months free you get. So 6+ months, and you then get a big discount. And each membership is 11 memberships. Create an original username and passcode that's unique to the site, and then you can share it with friends and family so that they can go watch the nightly news, see higher quality podcasts, The Day Show, all my films. And that's what supports this operation. We could have done it without you. Please buy your war bonds in the InfoWar, prisonplanet.tv. And then lastly, the InfoWars magazine has sold out most issues. It's been very successful. I've done it to have it be at cost to reach the maximum number of people. And we sell it in bulk in groups of 10 up to 100. I actually need a copy of that. You guys run me one, and I know we have a video of it, but I want to actually show the TV viewers watching on prisonplanet.tv, radio listeners can go to Infowars.com. We have Obama becoming a dictator issue, and it exposes all the tyranny in the police state and the latest on that. Very important issue. But the subscriptions have been successful, but I think it's cost prohibitive, even at $39.95, including the 12 shipping charges, to sell it at cost. I still think it's cost prohibitive. What's been way more successful is selling them in bulk so you can get them and hand them out to friends and family when and where you want. So this is the last month you can sign up in the next year to get a subscription, because a year from now, we are not going to offer subscriptions anymore. We're going to honor the year of subscriptions, and we're going to continue on with the digital version and the hard copy version in mass. We're going to email out on Monday the digital version for everybody signed up at Infowars.com/newsletter. But it's a world-class magazine, and it's a hard copy you can give people. And the reason we're doing this is if I get rid of subscriptions, I can lower the price so much on the bulk that I can even lower it more in the bulk. So if you want to get the next year of this, this is your 1 month, January 2014, that you can do it. And on the back, it has a double cover, InfoWars Magazine, 1984, bringing in the new year that we're in, 1984, basically. Okay, I want to go to your calls and not hog the time anymore with Steve Quayle. But, Steve, the good news I've seen is our troops waking up and saying no to aiding al-Qaeda openly in Syria. It's like 80–90% of the military I walk by in Austin or other places run over and are listeners, officers, enlisted, you name it. We always had a lot of listeners in the military, but now it is just huge. I know that foreign governments listen as well because there's not a lot of media covering these issues. I know that the police statistically are waking up a lot. I've got to say more awake than the public. So the police are the answer and they're the problem because they are who the feds have really brainwashed, really gotten ready for war with us. Because when we talk about that Stasi report earlier, Steve Quayle, that you eloquently discussed, this is the essence of slavery. We have to remember the Stasi training is demonizing patriots, veterans, gun owners, and the rest of it. So it's pointed at us. That's how bad this is. But what is your intel on the level of awakening in the military and police?
Well, the level of awakening has gotten dramatically higher, especially in the military. What has really helped, too, Greg Evenson and others who are former law enforcement officers are talking to their brothers in law enforcement. By the way, I have a lot of policemen who do listen to me that send me emails and stuff. The thing that's interesting, Alex, is that they're starting to get the feel now, what I've been warning them about for over 15 years, that they're the blue list. The red list, blue list, and green list for your listeners is a real deal. It's not Patriot.
No. It's now come out that they have listed people they're going to round up in a collapse. Yeah.
But the blue list is this, and here's what I want everybody to understand. The foreign troops have dossiers on all the U.S. police, whether it's sheriff, highway patrol, they have the dossier. So once the police, sheriff, every form of state and local law enforcement have been utilized in, quote, arresting the patriots, the Christians, whoever's on the Illuminati's kill list, arrest list, then those guys get terminated, okay? That means within every police department there are overseers, and this is the thing that was given to me by a man who lost his life. So I will take no stuff from anybody on this. When a man's willing to come to the truth and it costs him his life, I listen. Once, I don't know the time frame, but within 30 to 45 days after the takeout of the gun owners, et cetera, then the police, those who have been going along with the program, they get taken out. They'll use the law enforcement's families as hostages against them, Alex. And again, when I say this with great trepidation. So my prayer is, and I pray this openly, I don't apologize for it, when the order is given to shoot your fellow American or arrest your fellow American, know that the order that has been given to you from that person, that's the guy that will also be assigned to take you out when you've done the dirty work.
And I want to be clear, this is done 100% of the time in ancient Rome, 100% of the time in Cuba, 100% of the time in any authoritarian state, Nazi Germany, 1934, Night of the Long Knives, where they killed tens of thousands of police and military who had served them and lowered the drawbridge. And then they brought in the SS after that and the Gestapo. and this is done in the Soviet Union. Any of you idiots who actually are conscious of the evil and think it's fun, you are morons. Guaranteed you're going to get chewed up in the Civil War when you try this with the Patriots. That's like sticking your hand on a badger's nest. And then when you're done after that, 100% of the time, they're going to bare minimum fire your butt, keep you under surveillance. So you better join us in the fight against the New World Order right now. And it's so critical that we get the police and military awake, because if we can do that, it's over for the globalist. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, I've been banned. My website is now banned at the Pentagon and also banned in foreign fields, but still the troops have a way of getting through to me and getting information, and I openly claim that God will send his delivering angels to release them from the plan of them. You know, the point is, what have we seen, Alex? Not only in veterans, we've seen active duty members of the armed service denied ammunition, denied food, having their meals changed, their
made to serve 7 tours, which is like no one would ever even think of. It's meant to destroy them. They're demonized.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's the end.
Because a foreign enemy is in control of our military.
You got it. And the bottom line is that the military that has sworn an oath to the Constitution of this country against all enemies, domestic and private, you guys will be systematically taken out. And again, I say this, any order that's given to you, know that that person who's giving you that order will ultimately be the one that takes you out. You want to take some questions?
No, that's right. And we're not going to say what should happen to the person that wants to take you out. But, I mean, it's real simple, folks. Like in the new Red Dawn movie, when, you know, they're telling the people to be traitors, and you know what the cop tells them? He says, you know, kids, take these guys out. I mean, folks, this is really happening, okay? And the point is that we don't want to be the ones that move first. But know this, the minute this stuff starts, if they try it, all hell's going to break loose. We're trying to get the word out now to stop this. And, Steve, I know you know this. I know that this broadcast and what you've done at others, because we now know in hindsight, has, with people's prayers and everything, already stopped attempted takeovers before. But here's the catch-22, then we'll go to calls. We hold it back. Millions of other people in different areas, they hold it back. We all hold it back by exposing the program. It's hard for them to go green light. But at a certain point, we start beating them. They're going to have to green light or they totally lose. So how do we stop the cornering of these rats?
Well, I have an answer for you, and it's not a spiritual, it's a practical answer. Against overwhelming odds, when people have yielded in prayer and fasting and called upon God in his mercy, God takes the very weapons that are going to be used against the Christians, the believers, the Constitution, the people of good moral character. When I say moral character, I'm talking about people who have the right heart, and he gets the enemy to turn their weapons on each other. Don't think Russia and China don't have plans for each other. And so my prayer continually, Alex, is all their weapons, devices, communications, and I'm telling people how to pray, will be turned against one another and not against
And
people.
by the way, if you read naval dispatches from admirals, especially the British and others, they would pray in council, and a lot of these guys were even worldly, but they knew the power of it, for their enemies to be frustrated, for their systems to break, for them to be confused, and that's any successful army. George Washington, who was a believer, he did that as well. It's real, ladies and gentlemen.
It is real. And Alex, again, Pastor David Langford and I, quick 10-second piece, we, for 5 weeks on Doug Hagman's show, we had a time of calling the people of America to repentance. I know this. I know I've watched it happen, and I've gotten emails from people in high places and people coming by my store. They won't call or anything, just showing up and saying, you don't know what that did. They fear the power of prayer more than they fear any weapon that you could field against them.
Absolutely, and unfortunately, if folks don't have enough brain cells, they don't resonate and pick it up. That's in major medical studies. Let's talk to Bridget in Minnesota. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. Hi, Steve.
Hey, thanks for holding.
Sure. Of all the questions, a million of them in my head, I chose to ask about the chemtrails and the mystery illness like your Uncle Alex and your cousin have been stricken with. Steve, have you ever used like olive leaf oil like Alex said he has?
Yes,
or any oil of oregano?
And olive leaf to fight what I'm under right now. We got sprayed horrifically. I can only tell you this, olive leaf and echinacea combined have really helped me.
Okay, and Alex, where do you get your olive leaf oils? Because obviously it works.
Well, I've been okay, and my cousin died. My uncle is getting a little bit better, but he's still, in really, serious water. And thanks for all for your prayers. I've got a bunch of different brands of it, and I do take it, and I try to make my children take it. The oil of oregano is incredible, but kids don't like it because it tastes. I love hot, spicy things, so I like it. But obviously, it's not really hot and spicy; it's just real strong. But I try to get them to take that, and they've gotten better. But it's definitely hitting Texas. I mean, they're having massive deaths at every major hospital, and it's not in the news. And again, when they have some fake flu thing, they hype it up like it's the end of the world. They're not hyping this up, which historically I've seen means that they're behind it. And I've talked to the doctors. They're saying it's really weird. It's like staph and other bacteria that are souped up with microplasms in them, which they've never seen anything like this. Thank you for your call, me. I'm Steve Quayle. Your take on that?
Well, I think that right now the idea is to incorporate everything that God has created, and there's a honey too that comes from New Zealand, Alex, called Manaluka. I may be pronouncing it wrong, but it's amazing stuff, and what's fascinating is the ancients had to rely on this, not the pharmaceutical companies. It's just like the reason. Let me share this. The end time, as defined in the book of Revelation, is a pharmaceutical, devil-worshipping society that centers around merchandise. Does that sound familiar? And so the thing you have to do is counter what they've tried to do, and I believe that the Bible gives us absolute, even great instruction in that realm. So the things that you're doing with your health food supplements, that's the only thing that's going to help. It's kind of like, too, when you're taking coconut oil, the lauric and caprylic acid in coconut oil, the people at Interfoods have a great product that mixes even hot chocolate and cocoa milk.
I agree. We carry it at InfoWarsStore.com. Oh, incredible. Oh, absolutely. Coconut oil, they admit, helps people with epilepsy. It's all right there. The facts are in. The studies are legion. Sodium fluoride and other members of the fluorine family that are added to Western water supplies are devastating the health and cognitive ability of the people that drink it. So the question is, why are the social engineers adding it to the water? Simple. Dumb down the host population that the parasitic technocracy is feeding on. We developed Fluoride Shield to be the highest quality, highest standards, because I use it every day and my family uses it every single day. Let's take a closer look at the ingredients that make up this special proprietary formula. Tamarind has been celebrated for its ability to immobilize toxic fluoride residues, while zeolites have a long history of attracting and holding toxic compounds. Enter fulvic acid, an excellent cleansing agent. Then we added the highest quality shilajit, a rare compound that is collected from the high mountains of the Himalayas. We topped it all off with the powerhouse herb cilantro that is intended to mobilize fluoride and other dangerous compounds for removal from the body. And the final touch to energize this formula is our proprietary nascent iodine. And as always, consult your physician as well, because that is important. And finally, Fluoride Shield, Survival Shield, and all the products at InfoWarsLife.com grew out of my quest to try to find the very best compounds from God's cornucopia to protect myself and my family. And from our research, I believe we are bringing you the best, highest quality products. And you have that commitment from Alex Jones and the entire InfoWars crew. We're going to do a bit of overdrive with Steve Quayle. Appreciate all his time here today. The final transmission of radio for 2013. Be back tomorrow live in 2014 on New Year's Day. Have a safe night out there with all the drunks and crazies and checkpoints and the rest of it. I want to just take this time briefly to thank all of you for your support, your prayers in the last year. We couldn't have done any of this without you, and we're all in this together, those of us that love liberty. Let's go ahead now with Steve Quayle and talk to Ben in Missouri. Ben, thanks for calling and holding. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex. Thanks for taking my call. I listen almost every day, and every now and again, you have a show that's just amazing, over the top, really good. This is one of them. I think it's, Steve has brought up one of the big points that's it's actually changed my life a lot. I was never really a religious person, and for a long time I considered myself atheist. Ever since I've been awake, I've really realized that God plays a huge role in everything.
Religious experiences have the highest brain waves. So even if it isn't real, it is real. We need it. Go ahead.
Definitely. We make it real. Also, your products are great. I love the coffee. It saved me a bunch on Starbucks.
Thank you, brother.
I got my fluoride shield. I had a little bit of detox going on, but now I feel great. The point that I was going to make today was about the awakening, I think, of the masses. I think 2014 is going to be the year when the masses kind of wake up. And there have been a couple of things that have happened that have been touched on in our local media here in St. Louis that specifically have really given me a lot of hope. The first one was they had some DNA swabbing checkpoints here in St. Charles County, which is near St. Louis. It's right next door, basically. And, they reported on it about a week later in the paper after there was a bunch of public outcry. And, you get a lot of public opinion by reading the comments section of stories like this. And every single comment was, how can they do this? This is so wrong. And to the point where the local St. Charles County sheriff came out, because it was sheriff's deputies who were off duty who were doing
exactly, and we have to say no, and he backed off, right?
Right, he definitely did.
He told, but see, now they're using LAPD on duty. We got to jump to get to more calls here, but Steve Quayle, quick comment on that, then we're going to go to Ryan.
Well, I think the thing is that, God bless you, my brother, the one that just is talking. The thing is that when you have higher brainwave activity, and this is what I want to tell everybody, you've got to disconnect from mainstream TV. You've got to disconnect from the news,
That's right.
Because, Alex, there's 200 patents out there of how they are lulling you to sleep.
That's right, lowering the brain waves. Again, the state doesn't want you to up your brain waves. That's why they want you to be an atheist. And I'm sorry, atheist, religious people have higher brain waves, and we have higher intelligence. There's so many studies. It's incredible. Let's go ahead and talk to Ryan in Nevada. Go ahead, sir, your question for Steve Quayle, or comment.
Hi, guys. Calling you from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm an Afghan vet, as you alluded to prior, and found out kind of about the drug trade and whatnot that they did over there through like a ramble of friends, and saw the conspiracy theory, and here I am. Trying to make the best use of my time to wake other people up. I've been, taking people to dinners and talking to them and kind of making it more intimate, calling the Congress people and whatnot. What else am I missing out here?
That's right. He's wanting orders from headquarters, Steve. How do we get our force multipliers like this combat vet in the field in America, in the war, to awaken people?
Well, first of all, this is how I do it. I have learned to basically be just like he's a vet. A well-placed shot is better than spraying and praying, okay? So I pray in the morning or sometime in the night and say, Lord, take me to the people and help me to speak to the people whose hearts are open. And, he's doing the right stuff.
That's the key. You've got to pray for discernment and say, right. God, I'm weak. Protect me, help me, lift me up, fill me with your spirit, command me, tell me what to do. The answer is just give God the keys.
Now you can watch the InfoWars Nightly News streaming live as it happens for free.
Check it out at Infowars.com/show.